Welcome to another episode of Button Smash. Today, we're going to take a look at Star Wars Republic Commando, one of my absolute favorite Star Wars games. And even though it's one of the few out there that don't revolve around Jedi, it does highlight a group of warriors that are just as, or perhaps even more deadly. Let's go back in time to one of the most important eras of the Star Wars universe. The Clone Wars, the galactic conflict that thrust the Jedi and the Republic into war with the Separatist forces and their droid army. And as introduced in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, the Republic forces were made up of clones, grown on the planet Commando to serve on the front lines.
Welcome, little one. This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you.
All of the clone troopers were specially trained to be fearless, loyal soldiers, but there was a specific type of clone that filled a role very separate from the standard infantry units. The Clone Commando, the most dangerous unit among the ranks of the clone army. These were the badasses of the Grand Army of the Republic. The Black Ops soldiers that would take the most dangerous, classified missions that were never known publicly. The Commandos were so respected among the troops that standard clones would drop what they were doing and salute them right in the middle of the battlefield. If you only follow the Star Wars movies, you would have never even heard of these guys. And that was the magic of the pre-Disney Star Wars video game universe. It was filled with all kinds of creative stories that intertwined with the movies and helped flesh out the universe in ways the movies couldn't do. Shadows of the Empire tells the story of the smuggler Dash Rendar, who happened to be present during the Battle of Hoth, but you didn't know that unless you played the game. Dark Forces tells the story of mercenary Kyle Katarn, as he gets hired by the Rebel Alliance to steal the plans for the original Death Star. And The Force Unleashed tells the story of Darth Vader's secret apprentice, who ended up betraying his master and was crucial in establishing the Rebel Alliance. The list of Star Wars video games connecting all the little dots everywhere can go on forever. And Republic Commando is no different, since it connects directly to the events of Episode 2 and 3, which we'll go over, of course. Republic Commando revolves around a group of 4 clone commandos, known collectively as Delta Squad. You play as the leader of the squad, RC-1138, also known by his nickname, Boss. A no-nonsense sergeant that can issue effective orders in the heat of battle and has a fierce loyalty to his squad mates.
Sev, where are you? What? Regroup. We're going after Sev.
Negative 3-8. New orders came through from the Jedi generals. Clear the area. Evac now.
I don't care if they came from Master Yoda himself.
RC-1140, also known as Fixer. He served as Delta Squad's technology expert and followed procedure by the book, often keeping his clone brothers in line and telling them to cut the chatter and focus on the mission.
Uploading and linking with your visor, sir.
RC-1262, also known as Scorch, and serving as Delta Squad's demolition and explosives expert. He's the lighthearted member of the team that's full of wisecracks and can lighten the mood during an awful situation.
Scorch, I need you to demo their bunker for me.
Good. Would you like a large or small crater, sir?
Just get us inside without killing the squad, okay, Scorch?
And the final commando on the team, RC-1207, also known as Sev, and acted as the unit's expert sniper. He's easily the most violent commando, and he's always thirsty for a good fight.
You can expect to find there, so proceed with caution.
Here's hoping they don't surrender.
Stow it, Sev.
The game opens up with a montage of Boss growing up and receiving his training and his armor, which is really cool because you only get a brief glimpse of this process in the movies from Obi-Wan's point of view. Right from the get-go, Republic Commando puts you in the armor of a soldier training for war, and it feels completely authentic. When all the troops are deploying for the first battle of the Clone Wars, you're already pumped and ready to go.
Okay, Group B, let's move it! Let's go! Push those cannons to the stern! Load the ammo and the ordnance! Let's go! Let's go!
Sir, we're gonna split up for the drop, but we'll meet you at the RV on Geonosis. See you planetside, sir.
There really is no other Star Wars game that plays like this either. I mean, there's been first-person Star Wars games before, but at its heart, this one's a tactical first-person shooter. You know what the best way to describe it is? Take Rainbow Six, slap a Star Wars skin over it, and you've got Star Wars Republic Commando. Your standard weapon's a pistol that has unlimited ammo, but needs to charge back up if it gets fired too frequently, and a knife that retracts. And you also have a blaster that can be attached with different weapons, such as an assault rifle, sniper rifle,
07 needs help. I'm on it.
or grenade launcher. There's also other weapons you could pick up on the battlefield, like a beam weapon, even a Wookiee bowcaster, which is infamous for being the signature weapon of Chewbacca.
Hey, can I try that?
I like this thing.
And you can also have multiple types of grenades too, like standard thermal detonators or EMP grenades that fry droids and are incredibly useful when there's a large group of them. The gameplay feels solid, and you just feel awesome being in the middle of a firefight while telling a squad member to jump on a turret, while ordering another one to provide sniper fire while you're blasting away. If you've never played this game, it may feel a little dated to you though, especially when compared to more modern shooters like Call of Duty or Battlefield. One button I really wish this game had was a run button. You can't run at all in this game, and it's especially noticeable when you're walking down long hallways. Mind you, this is a game from 2005, so running in first-person shooters wasn't really a standard just yet. And if you're familiar with the Star Wars prequels, you know who you'll spend a huge chunk of the game fighting against. A lot of droids. Some of the ones you'll fight pretty regularly are standard Trade Federation battle droids, destroyer droids, and super battle droids. The super battle droids can take plenty of damage, and the best way to take them down is to have the entire squad focus their fire on one target. In a group, these guys are a nightmare to kill. Unless you have a grenade launcher, of course. And I love how the Jedi make these guys seem so easy to kill, too. And I kind of wish the game had boss battles also. I'm a big fan of boss battles in video games, especially in shooting games, and this just doesn't have them. That would have been really cool to see. I mean, every once in a while, a giant spider droid pops up, but they're not really bosses. There's plenty of them throughout the whole game. But droids aren't the only thing you go up against, though. There's also plenty of Geonosians, who are heavily seen on the planet Geonosis in Episode 2, and Trandoshans. For all my viewers out there that don't follow Star Wars as closely, Trandoshans are a race of reptilian creatures that tend to hunt other species and run different slave trades throughout the galaxy. And if you've seen The Empire Strikes Back, you have seen a Trandoshan, the bounty hunter Bosk. I love fighting them in the game too, because they drop shotguns, which are never really seen in Star Wars, and is an extremely powerful weapon when you have it. And chain guns that can mow down multiple enemies in seconds. It made me feel like an 80s action hero holding this thing. There's 3 main levels in the game, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but the game took me a little over 6 hours to complete, which is pretty standard for this kind of game, especially back in 2005. Each level has you starting on a mission with a basic goal, and always ends up turning into a whole nother thing with an epic conclusion. The first level starts off with a bang and drops you right into the middle of the opening battle of the Clone Wars, the Battle of Geonosis. That's right, Delta Squad was down there fighting somewhere, we just didn't know it while we were watching the movie. One of the first things the squad is ordered to do is take out a Geonosian leader called Sun Fac, and he has absolutely no chance of escaping alive.
Yeah! I love that smell! All I smell is burnt Geonosian. 3-8, my scan is showing explosion. That's affirmative. Subject terminated.
As soon as that's accomplished, the clone advisor communicating with Delta Squad lets them know another Commando squad failed to take out a massive droid factory, and it becomes your job to do so. The levels you go through are never what they seem when you first start them out. By the end of this mission, for example, you're entering one of those massive Trade Federation core ships and stealing launch codes after fighting through waves and waves of droids.
Stand back!
In 1 minute.
Good to see you, 4-2.
And the second mission in the game takes place about a year later, and it has Delta Squad investigating a Republic cruiser called the Prosecutor that had gone missing and was found floating silently in space. And this level starts off with dark corridors and no one really knows what happened here, and it reminds me of Alien. There's nobody around, except for a few lost troopers that you run into. But what starts off as a simple investigation becomes a fight against a horde of Trandoshans that boarded the ship and killed most of the crew inside. Then a giant Trade Federation ship appears out of nowhere.
I see it. A Trade Federation battleship.
Yeah, not even you can see into hyperspace, Sev.
No, it's on the edge of the system. Take a look.
Oh, blast.
This will be a challenge.
And sends hordes of droids over while you're trying to shut down the hangar bays. And there's two really cool Easter eggs in this mission too. You can actually find a lightsaber on the ground, meaning that there was a Jedi on the ship at some point. And the speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi are in here too. And by the end of the mission, you're getting assaulted by droids while trying to activate the turbo lasers to blow up the Trade Federation ship and send it back to hell.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Thanks for the assistance, Captain.
Glad to be of service, Delta Squad. No one steals a ship from the Republic while we're around.
And the third and final level has you visiting a planet not seen very often in Star Wars. That sets the stage for one of the biggest battles of the Clone Wars, and seen in Star Wars Episode 3, the Battle of Kashyyyk, the Wookiee homeworld. And once again, it starts off with a simple mission. Trandoshan slavers attack the Wookiees and imprison them, making them slaves. And it's your job to free them and their chieftain Tarful, also seen leading the Wookiees in Episode 3. And everything starts going wrong once you run into General Grievous, leader of the droid army, and extremely dangerous. I wish there was a boss battle against him too, but he escapes to Utapau where, of course, Obi-Wan faces him later, and you're left to fight his Magna Guards, and these guys are pretty annoying. They jump around everywhere and they hit you with their electric staffs up close, and of course they could take a ton of damage, and yet again, the Jedi make these things look incredibly easy to kill in the movies. And it turns out that the Separatists had a huge invasion planned and were getting ready to take over the Wookiee homeworld. So for the rest of the mission, there's this onslaught of droids while Wookiees slam them into the ground and rip them to pieces. It is epic, and all 4 Delta Squad commandos combine their firepower on turrets to destroy the massive ship looming ahead. And using the information Delta Squad provided, the Republic confirmed that droids were on Kashyyyk and sent a massive invasion force to free the Wookiees, starting the Battle of Kashyyyk, and tying this game directly to Episode 3 before Order 66 came through.
Boss, look! It's the invasion force!
Taking the city was only the beginning.
I've never seen so many ships before.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'll patch you through right away.
All Republic forces, establish forward command in Kajiro.
Is that really who I think it is?
Rendezvous with Delta Squad, we must. Upon them, we rest much hope.
If you're a Star Wars fan, this game is a must-play. You can pick it up on the Xbox One, well, I'm sorry, not Xbox One, the original Xbox, or PC. And the version I showed you guys today in this video was the PC version downloaded from Steam, which looks way better than the Xbox One, so that's the one I would recommend. But wait a minute, where's the sequel? The ending of the game leaves it wide open for a sequel, but we never got one. And I have no idea why. But if you want some more Republic Commando action, you can always check out the novels that this game spawned. Delta Squad does appear in several of them. Check those out. After Disney took over Star Wars, they kind of picked and chose what they like and didn't like, so most of the really good stuff is no longer canon. It's never really been confirmed whether the events of this game are canon or not. Disney did confirm that the Clone Wars animated series is official. In that case,
there were no survivors on Deveron. Everyone was killed, including Master Halsey and his Padawan.
making them Disney canon. Give us a sequel. Do it.
Looks like it's back to the action. You have your orders.
Delta Squad, lock and load.
If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like and a comment down below. What's your favorite Star Wars game of all time? And don't forget to subscribe for more outstanding content. This is Fabian, and I'm out of here. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.